Hey guys, this is the Brawler Bash practice game that I played the night before the tournament. I played against one of my club mates. You might remember him. He's the guy who usually has the three dragons. He's going to be trying out Legions of Chaos in this game. We're just doing a regular blood and glory scenario. And we just chose objectives that we wanted to practice on. Mine was kill enemy general. I think he also chose kill enemy general just to try to practice that. So let's take a look at my Orc and Goblin list here for Brawler Bash. And my general feeling is that this might be the last, real Brawler Bash tournament. There's lots of rumors going on about ninth. I have a bad feeling it's going to be a skirmish, and if it is, even if they have Brawler Bash for Warhammer next year, it's not going to be the same. So basically, my list, I'm taking a lot of really good choices, and I'm taking some crazy stuff just to get it in there, just to use it. That's why you can see here I'm taking two great cave squig, not goblin big bosses. I also have my goblin shaman with lore of undeath to run around. Um, just doing some things that ordinarily you wouldn't take at Brawler Bash, just because I figure when else am I ever going to take two great cave squigs? Um, so yeah, it's kind of like bittersweet here because this may be the last time I ever have 18 trolls in a list, so I have to take have to take it with the Busey banner. Let's see how they do. Okay, so we look at my opponent's list. Like I said, he's taking Legion of Chaos. I actually lost his list, so this is basically from memory. One thing I want to note about for this tournament for the end times, they actually had a bit of comp for them. There's basic comp for all armies, like so some special characters are banned. No grand armies. There's like a 12 dice power cap limit. Um, but for the end times list, they were allowing them, but they put in several things to try to keep them from being so overpowered because these lists are pretty crazy. You probably know this by now. So basically, what they said was that you have one of the armies, if you use a combined list, that was your core army. So for him, it's warriors. So then the other armies, you can take things from the selections, but you have to have an equal amount of points from whatever the main is. Like if you want, core from Beastmen, you have to have equal amount of core from warriors. If he wants these two skull cannons, he had an equal amount of points of core from warriors. That's why he had this hell cannon and the skull crushers. Also, they lose 200 points for each game. So they just said they added it up at the end of the tournament. But for the purpose of battle reports, if I play them, I'll just show that minus 200 points, which what their actual score would be at the end of the game. Which is kind of a loss, but I think for a lot of these lists, they'll more than make up for the 200 points they're going to lose. So we're taking a look at our deployments, and one thing I want you to note that little baby Groot is one of my great cave squigs. I kind of forgot that I had a Forge World Great Cave Squig. It really wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have had time to paint it because I spent most of the last 4 or 5 weeks before this tournament extremely sick. So I would have been painted anyway, but I did that because I didn't want to spend $40 on another great cave squig. But anyway, I break it right off the bat. So most of these 3 days here, it's going to be broken and falling apart. So anyway, here's our deployment, and we're playing both those terrain in the middle as impassable, which I think is a big boon to me because it's forcing him to funnel through, and I feel like I don't have to go to him because I think my shooting's a little bit better, and I don't think he can whittle me down with two skull cannons and a hell cannon, especially since most of my stuff's immune to psychology. Um, so he's kind of forced to swing his skull crushers around the wing. Another thing I want to note about his army right now is that he's borrowing his army from Ben, with the tournament organizer, and Ben forgot to bring some of the models, so he's proxying a lot of stuff. That's why he has a weird looking skull crusher you're going to see here, and why he's got skeletons for Ungor Raiders and things like of that nature. He's got lots of fill-ins of the warriors because not all the models are here yet. So take a look at the deployment from my side, and like I said, I really like the way those two terrain pieces are making him funnel in towards me. I can fit both my hordes through that and have room to spare, so I'm not really worried about that. Only thing is that most of my chaff, there's really nothing from the fight other than the Ungor or just slowing down his warriors. And I'm hoping, just to wear those warriors down, take out the skull cannons, and basically mop up the rest. Now a quick look at the vanguards. He had no vanguards. My basic mission is slow down his skull crushers on the left. Try to slow down the warriors in the center. Hopefully, maybe my shaman can get back there and spawn some ethereal stuff. Otherwise, none of that stuff can really take on anything other than the Ungor. So I went first turn, and the Wolf Riders there fail animosity, of course. Since they Vanguard, they can't be forced to charge the Ungor, which is bad because you can see my Mangler had a gigantic random move up, and it's within a half inch where those Ungor can march right onto it. So I can't move those Wolf Riders up in front to block it because they're squabbling. Otherwise, I just move like into a better formation here so that when he comes through, I can support the Savages and Trolls can support each other. Other Wolf Riders move up right up in front of the Skull Crushers to start slowing them down. Now I'm going to Magic. I get Irresistible Foot up, where I'm putting it right on the center of his Skull Cannon, where the two chariots are on the right, and so I can touch all three of them. My miscast is only 7 and I only kill one Savage Orc. And then I get a direct hit, and I do 3 wounds to the Skull Crusher, so it's still alive. And I do 2 wounds to, I think, the regular chariot, and 1 wound to the Gore chariot. I forget which one is which. And I stomp again. It scatters this time, so that it's not touching the chariot with 2 wounds on it, but it destroys the Skull Cannon, which is great right off the bat. And I failed to wound the other chariot, but I've killed the Skull Cannon right off the bat with for the Gork, which is great. The foot goes away then, and then in my shooting, I start trying to shoot Doom Divers onto his warriors, kill a few, and Rock Lobbas onto his other Skull Cannon. I don't do anything, but I've taken a Skull Cannon out to start the game, so I think I've done really well to start off. And this is just a final look at the end of my turn. As you can see here on the bottom left here, I have just like a wall of different chaff here to slow down those Skull Crushers as much as possible so I can concentrate on his center. So going into Legions of Chaos turn 1, he will charge his Skull Crushers at my Wolf Riders. I'm going to hold to slow him down as long as possible. His Ungors do march onto the Mangler. They have within a half inch. If I rolled 1 inch less for my random movement, they would not have been able to do that. That's Manglers. They always move more when you don't want them to. Then he lands his basically unkillable Chaos Lord in the middle of the table, kind of mocking me. But if patrols can get there, they can vomit on him and ignoring the his armor save at least. Other than that, when he goes into Magic, he raises a level 1 Necromancer, which you can see with the little card behind it in the upper part of the table. This is, I think what had the lower one Death, and I thought it was a level 3. In shooting, his Skull Cannon tries to kill a Lava, and he just like rolls a misfire on the roll or on the overroll or whatever, so it does nothing. He wipes out his Wolf Riders, but for the most part, things are really going my way still. So we go into Orc and Goblin turn 2, and of course my bunker is going to squabble, so it's going to get held back, and that limits how much I can move my trolls forward, but I didn't want to move them forward too much anyway. And that's what you always say when you fail in the monster. I didn't want to move that unit anyway. So otherwise I do rally my Wolf Riders, and my remaining Mangler becomes a hero. It wipes out Ungors and a Chaos Chariot, and it's right there next to the other chariot, way at the top of the table. So it's behind his lines. That's basically perfect. Otherwise, my other K-Swig, which you can't see in this picture, is going to hop around the Skull Crushers so that they don't easily get killed next turn. So the bigger overhead view here, the rest of the turn, as you can see, I get a Rock Lobber right on his remaining Skull Cannon, destroy it, kill some more Chaos Warriors. They've really been whittled down a lot, and things are just going my way with shooting and Magic right now. So Chaos Legion's turn 2, he has to go for it, charges Lord, Trolls, and Gorby's Chariot at my Savages, and he wipes through the Wolf Riders on the way. I'm going to trigger my Fanatics. One's going to go through his Lord, do nothing, and I realize I can send the other one through my Savages in an angle where it hits his Lord, stops in front of Savages, and the Trolls will have to land on it so that they would do double damage to the Trolls. So I do that. I kill maybe one Savage, do nothing to his Chaos Lord, and I think I do 2 or 3 wounds to a Troll and manage to kill one Troll. His Chaos Cannon again does nothing. I think it misfires, but it's fine. Otherwise, the Skull Crushers, I think they charge my Chariots. I hold just to slow it down, or maybe I flee the Chariot, I'm not sure. but I'm holding those skull crushers back as much as I can. When we go into the combat here, I'm going to win the combat because Lord's going to be forced to issue a challenge. I just answer it with my champion, so he kills the champion, but I've blown a lot of the attacks from the Lord from that. I managed to win the combat. He holds. All right, so my turn three. It's time for me now to take the offensive. Trolls go right into his warriors. Pump wagon comes into their rear. Another fanatic's gonna zip through and not do much. I think it does 2 wounds to his chariot. Also, one of my K-Squigs are gonna come into the chariot as well that's fighting there with the savages. And as you can see here, I'm gonna win the combat again. I still do nothing to his lord. He has to keep issuing challenges. Now I'm declining him with my great shaman to keep him alive, which because it doesn't matter as long as my general's there. The great shaman doesn't really matter. I'm gonna have now I'm gonna reroll for steadfast. I break his trolls. They run, but the chariot and the lord stays. There's only one troll left. One troll left because they have to run through that remaining fanatic, and it kills a bunch where there's just a troll left with 1 wound. Um, in the fight against the warriors, I'm gonna take them down to just like 1 rank. They're gonna manage to hold. I think I kill the BSB, but Festus and the level 3 are still alive, and a couple of warriors. He kills some trolls, but I win easily. He's holding, but eventually I'm gonna take those warriors and those points out. So Chaos Legion turn 3. He really has nothing. Everything's either in combat or his Hell Cannon. The Skull Crushers are still coming around, so they're still there. I did some Doom Divers hits to them, so I think I've taken half of them out by now. Now his Hell Cannon's gonna misfire. I always say miscast because it's always hurting my shamans. I think this is the one where you take damage to all the shamans, all the enemy casters. My Great Shaman will be okay. I'll take a wound on my level 1 Orc, and I think it kills my Goblin on the Wolf back there. Otherwise, in the combats, I'm going to lose. My Savage is going to lose this time, but I'm going to hold from Steadfast. But I will lose Frenzy. And I'm going to whittle down the Warriors so much that you can see my Pump Wagon's moved over more. Because I think right now there's only the Sorcerer and Festus alive. I think all the Warriors have been wiped out by now. But again, they still hold. So things are really speeding up now because we have almost everything in combat, and which means there's very little for me to shoot at. As you can see again, he's still got that little bit of, I think it's just his level 3 and his Festus there fighting my trolls. I'm not able to kill them. They're still holding. I think I might be actually losing these combats, and I'm just holding because I'm 9 with a reroll. I'm not able to kill those last 2 characters. Um, in the other combat, what has happened? Look at that poker chip behind the Chaos Lord. I have done a wound to the unkillable Chaos Lord. Unbelievable. Strength 4 gets it done. But again, I'm still losing that fight. But I'm holding again, 9 with a reroll. So that's basically it. My shooting, I think I'm shooting at his Skull Crushers, and he's still got 2 left. And there's not much else to do. I think I tried to get every go off of my Savages, and that failed in Magic. The turns are starting to go fast and furious now. Chaos Legion's turn 4. Look at that gigantic Terrorgeist on the field. His Necromancer, wherever he was hiding at, has raised a Terrorgeist, and there's nothing I could do to stop it. I think he kills himself raising it. I think he gets sucked in the warp doing it, but he's got a Terrorgeist on the table. This Terrorgeist is going to scream into my Savage. You can see a bunch of Savages are dead now, but it's really not enough. I do finally kill those 2 characters. My Trolls combat reform to face that Terrorgeist. We just don't pick them up and turn them around. I lose my Pump Wagon also. No, I don't lose my Pump Wagon. I think I turn and face that. You can't see it because of the Busey banner. It's facing towards the Hell Cannon. I think I was getting frisky thinking I could take out the Hell Cannon with a Pump Wagon. Also, my other great K-Squig is moved all the way around behind the Hell Cannon. In the other combat here, he's charged his Skull Crushers at my Wolf Chariot. That's just, again, trying to slow him down. And he's killed the great K-Squig that's fighting the Chariot. Um, his Hell Cannon also comes on that Night Goblin unit in between. Looks like it kills like half of them. I passed my panic test. Um, this is weird. Like I'm holding, but I'm not doing any more damage. Like I've done all the damage I can really do. I can't really kill that Chaos Lord. I'm starting to lose Savages bad, and Skull Crushers are coming in on me. It's up to my trolls to try to save the day, and there's the Terrorgeist holding them back. All right, missing pictures. This is actually the bottom of turn 5. On my turn, my trolls fail their stupidity test, so I do not get to charge that Terrorgeist. So that Terrorgeist is free to scream. Um, and you can also see those Scorch Crushers blast through everything. They come into the rear. They overrun right into the flank of my little Night Goblin unit, bust through them on the bottom on my turn. And on his turn, they reformed to face the side of my bunker. So this is kind of bad. My Savage unit's being really whittled down here. Um, yeah, so things are not going good here at the bottom of turn 5. Um, it's just kind of scary now. Yeah, it's so scary that as you can see here, the Savages do break. And look at those 2 1s there. Of course, I need double ones to not break. And I have the reroll. Of course, I don't make it, but what's my flea roll? Double ones. Yes, that's what happens. We're going into turn 6. And actually, I don't. We don't have pictures of turn 6. What happens is, of course, my trolls do come into the Terrorgeist, kill it, um, and we say, it's getting real late. Um, he's going to charge my bunker. I'm going to flee through the troll so he can't catch you. He'll get half points for that, and he's going to take out my Doom Diver here with the Chaos Lord. So we figure out the points here as it is. All right, so when we figure this out, this is a victory for the Orcs. It's closer than it looked like it was going to be in the beginning when everything was going my way, but once he got into combat with those Savages, he was able to wear them down and break them and get a ton of points there. I broke his Fortitude first. I think he technically breaks my Fortitude because my bunker's fleeing at the end of the game, which will give him the half points for the Blood and Gory. And all he really has left is this Lord, Hell Cannon, and I think half the Skull Crushers. So it's a pretty decent win for the Orcs. This is one of the things where we both got around 3,000, over 3,000, so it's like a win for both of us under Brawler Bash. The way Brawler Bash works. I've got the minus 200 here just for like completeness sake that over the course of the tournament he'd lose 200 points per game, just to figure like what his real score would be. Um, I think overall 200 points is not enough that you're losing because I think he more than made up for it by being able to have 2 Skull Cannons and a Hell Cannon and have the other things like the Beast Banner and things like that. I think he more than makes up for the 200 points. Even though his Skull Cannon did nothing in this game, over the course of the tournament, they'll more than make up for each other for the loss. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. The first game is going to be the Battle of the Buseys, Orcs versus Orcs. It's always fun. I always try to have Orcs versus Orcs in a tournament because I've really enjoyed those games. Um, Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.